My name is Beverly Rogers, and I usually introduce myself as an 83-year-old African American female who has lived from Jim Crow to Black Lives Matter. Well, now I think we have a little bit of an extension, and I want to start my story by saying that I was born during the silent generation. Now, the silent generation, when you think about it, started with those who were born in 1928. That means that that person is now 97 years old. And there are a lot of folks here that are 97 years old that have been through the Great Depression and World War II, especially when you think about our veterans. Now, we're called the silent generation because we were the ones supposedly, everyone perceived us as being the conformists, conditions, cautious nature, traditional, civic duty. We supposedly weren't that vocal. And it was regular that every day we would feel or get some form of discriminatory actions against us. So, as a person from the silent generation thinking, I was young, I was at the very end of it. So I went into Jim Crow, and we lived south, but my dad did not believe in Jim Crow, so we moved north. The difference between living south in Jim Crow and north, where supposedly no Jim Crow in the books, was that you didn't know that there was racism until you went in and didn't get served. In the south, it was enforced and legalized, but in the north, equal opportunity supposedly was there, but you had to work for it. So I really didn't have a public voice in the South or in the North, but I knew who I was and who I was. So there was no way you were going to tell me that I was not good at what I did. We went into civil rights, and then they had to listen. I had a voice. I could vote. This was when I could say, I'm good at what I do. I know I'm good at what I do. You can hire that person if you want to, but you are the one that will be missing out because I'm the one for the job. Civil rights, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly, freedom to petition the government. It was the First Amendment to the US Constitution, and I had a voice in what mattered to me, what mattered to my family, what mattered to the community. Civil rights, civility. And then came Black Lives Matter. Well, in 2013, that spotlight is like having a light shine in the corner where you see all the dust and the garbage that you didn't get to when you were cleaning your house last year. That spotlight where it showed that even though we had the civil rights, the heart of the people who were enforcing and judging and moving were still living back in the Jim Crow era. And they did not mind voicing it so. And here we were. I could not be silent. I kept speaking out. Not only advocate for me, but for those that I knew needed to have someone speak for them. Now here we are. Where are we? Well, I was reading an article, a report recently. It was called Deconstructing Democracy. And this report was from 2022. And it read, we wrote this report as a warning bell and a call to action. Our democracy is in danger, but none of us is powerless. So when I read that, I thought about all that is going on now. And what we have is a demolition of our democracy, destruction of democracy. They're trying to take away our freedom of speech, our fairness, our equality, our kindness, our civility, respect. Where is compassion? We have a right to be human with quality of life that each of us expects. I am not at a point where I am a dollar sign or a piece of data or a dot on a graph. That is not who I am. The God I serve did not create me to be a bystander. I know who I am and whose I am. And when you think about all of the generations that are in this summit or on this summit, from the silent to whatever you are now, our history is history. We are walking history, and we cannot be erased by a Sharpie pen. So I will continue to use my voice, and I'm encouraging you to use your voice. I'm encouraging you to not be silent because I will not be silent.
Thank you, Beverly Rogers. That was just an amazing story and an amazing testimony. We all have the right to be human, and we all cannot be silent. And none of us can be silent. And I'm hoping, and I hope we find that community and that power through being together today.